Hello there everybody, Subutter92 aka Nightmare, and welcome back to Rose Guns Days Season 2. In the last episode, we had ourselves an incredibly heartwarming moment as the three misfits discovered their talent for music. Well, not really so much discovered, but other people discovered their talent for music, and they managed to make a name for themselves in a nice little tavern, little pub place. And also, apparently, Rapunzel can sing. That's interesting. But overall, last episode was just a very nice episode. It was nice. I also learned a little bit more about Oliver and his mean streak whenever he was starting. Eventually, even the higher-ups at Primavera heard of our reputation. Oh! No. Oh! That's awesome! Oh, cool! We received requests to play at other Primavera establishments, and we began to get popular in the nighttime scene. We performed at several places every night, pouring our young power and passion into our music. Oliver honed his piano skills more and more, and one club even ordered a used piano for him. Oh! Charles and Nina were very skillful and performed with several kinds of instruments, not just strings. I still couldn't believe that I was able to keep up with them. Determined not to slow them down, I emptied my chest and filled it up from my stomach to my heart with my voice. As though I didn't mind if I died once the singing was over. Our strengths resonated together and earned us a grand applause every time. Aww. During this time, the city had a bit of a boom in live nighttime performances. The sound of instruments could be heard in cheap pubs across City 23. That is nice. It was a tiny change that our four-person group had made on the city. And also, though this was probably just people's imagination, rumors were going around that perhaps because the customers stopped to listen to music, fights between drunks were breaking out less often. Yay! Maybe music had the power to bring peace to the world, at least a little. Music can have a very soothing effect on somebody. Well, let's take a break for a bit. I'm starving. Already? You have no stamina, do you? I won't stumble over something like this. I'll become a wolf of the piano.
You really are passionate about this, Oliver. So, if you manage to eat well too, you'll become even more of a wolf.
A wolf of the piano?
That's hilarious.
I'm hungry! I'm hungry! Toss us some food, old man!
Good work, you four. The food's on me. Ask for whatever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a hand for this wonderful performance and our wonderful songstress.
Thank you.
Is it possible that you were a singer before you lost your memory?
Who knows? But if so, that'd be pretty cool.
The past has nothing to do with it. Zell is Zell.
I get scared every now and then. What if Zell's memory pops back, and she goes away? Don't jinx it!
It was something all three of them had thought. Without Zell, they wouldn't be who they were now. What if they lost Zell and went back to being dropouts?
Don't worry. I apparently didn't have a home after all. Even if my memory comes back, there's nowhere for me to return to. Whether I have my memory or not, this group is where I belong. Zell, you're such a good girl. Stop that, I can't breathe. Oh God, you broke my back.
We were told to look after Zell, and she's already the one looking after us.
We may have been dropouts when there were three of us, but not anymore. Not when we're a group of four. There's still a lot more cash we can earn. Look how much we've made today.
Charles made a show of counting bills and everyone laughed.
With all this, we could buy a ton of Nikumon.
Now you're speaking my language. Yeah. Hey, let's buy some Nikumon in Chinatown on our way back.
Do you have some disease where you die if you don't eat Nikumon? Well, we're pretty close anyway. Maybe we can just drop by on our way back.
Come to think of it, we're getting a lot of yawn bills today.
Yuanbills, a currency known as the Japanese yuan, which were used in cities under the management of the Chinese army, similar to yen. Of course, after being occupied by the American and Chinese forces, both Japanese dollars and Japanese yuan were in circulation. In City 23, Japanese dollars were overwhelmingly more common, but as you approached Chinatown, you started seeing Japanese yuan a lot more.
This place is close to Chinatown, after all. Probably just happened to be mixed in.
When listening to music, nationality doesn't matter much, does it?
True enough, if you listened into the many conversations filling the bar, you'd hear a lot that wasn't in Japanese. However, thanks to their music, the inside of the bar was filled with a peaceful atmosphere amidst the bustle. That's good. The Japanese and the Chinese were in high spirits, and both seemed to be enjoying the bar's atmosphere. Oliver, you're thinking a fight might break out, aren't you?
I wasn't thinking that.
Your face is saying that. If one did, you'd like to mediate it and earn some credit.
How about it, Oliver? Do you still want to fight?
It's not like I like fighting, Baka. I just thought it was the only path that led to the ideal I wanted to become.
I'd known that. Oliver certainly wasn't a person quick to pick fights. He just thought it was the only way to get closer to the ideal self he wanted to be.
If a fight were to break out between Japanese and Chinese people here, I'd jump forward at any time. I'm a wild dog. I may play the piano, but I'll never forget my wolf's heart.
It's really important to look out for opportunity. Opportunities never come to people who lose the ability to do that. Your only problem is that you handle all the opportunities you've had until now with violence.
Yes, that may be.
I'm sure you'll get a huge opportunity before long. After all, your fortune is steadily rising.
Yeah. If I do what you recommend, luck will come, even to me. And I feel as though I can seize the next chance if I do as you say.
Thank you. I'll make sure you can grab it. That's the only way I can repay the debt I owe you.
You owe us?
Come on, we're the ones who owe you.
It's true. In fact, we've got to do something for you to clear the debt we owe.
We three dropouts will certainly repay our debts to you. Even if the world abandons you, we definitely won't. We'll always lend you our strength.
Charles and Nina nodded. Zell felt her eyes getting hot. Aww.
Thank you. But now, I'm thinking I don't care if my memory comes back or not. As long as the four of us can always have fun together.
Aww. You know, I've been starting to think that I could get used to this. It suits my nature. I'm 100 times better at this than nodding to every boring thing customers say to you.
Well, I don't want to abandon being a wild dog.
Oliver made sure to mention that, of course, he didn't dislike this new lifestyle.
It's just a regret of mine, and I'm probably being selfish. The whole time I was living pathetically in alleys, I wanted to become a man of importance.
You wanted to be like Wayne's son, didn't you?
Me, Charles, and Nina. We all wanted to become someone cool.
Well, I guess we just weren't suited for it.
Well, yeah. If we could have become like that, we'd want to. Even we're wild dogs. I want to accomplish something big and impress Wayne-san.
It's fine. If our music can stop even a single fight, we're helping Wayne-san.
We are basically helping out with what he said to make sure Japanese and Chinese people don't fight each other.
And it's working. So, yeah, this isn't so bad.
We've woken up from a dream that it's pointless to have. And now we finally found a job we're suited for. That's why we're grateful to you, Zell. And that's why this is just a selfish regret that I have. Sorry for talking so gloomily.
Don't worry about it, Oliver, it's fine.
Even though we can never thank you enough, I keep going on about something this trivial.
Don't worry about it.
So you all don't dislike music, but you still want to live as wild dogs.
The three smiled uncertainly. They had nearly given up on a position in the criminal underworld. However, it was hard to cut themselves off from their childhood dream, to become a man like Wayne.
I'm just full of lingering regrets. Forgive me. I'll try to be very accepting of this correct way to live. A life earning applause with the piano might be surprisingly hard to part with. How unmanly of me. How dare I act like a wolf? Don't take it badly, Zell. I'm just overexcited and rambling on, it seems. I'll go wash my face. I haven't had any alcohol, but I'm still acting like a drunk.
Oliver smiled apologetically and rose from his chair. As he did, Zell stood up too and called him to a stop.
No. It's okay, Oliver. I know. No, I've known for a while. No matter how much musical talent you all have, you're wild dogs with the hearts of wolves. It's the same for you two, right? Music is fun, but you want to become the sort of cool men and women you admired and impressed Wayne's son, right? To be perfectly honest, I do feel that way a bit.
Still, it's just not possible for a bunch of dropouts like us. After looking at each one of their faces, Zell sighed. Then she had Oliver sit down, had them all lean forward, and whispered as though telling a secret.
I meddled the way I did because I wanted you to stop thinking of yourselves as dropouts. And I wanted to repay the debt I owe to the people who helped me when I had nowhere to go. So now, I'll wipe out your self-impression of being wild dog dropouts.
The three had no idea what she was trying to tell them. However, Zell's forceful words and gaze felt like those of someone determined not to surrender to a gloomy feeling. Is she actually going to help them become better criminals?
Didn't I tell you? I've known for a while. I've known that you're all proud wolves, mad dogs. I had you all play music so you could gain confidence, as the first step of returning to that goal of yours. Unless we blow away that defeated attitude, you won't be able to grasp opportunities. And by being bathed in applause by so many people like this, you've regained your confidence. Because you've regained that, you've regained your real dream. Your dream to become a cool underworld man like Wayne-san. Since you've regained that, we should move on to the next step. Well, what do you mean, the next step? Isn't it obvious? We're gonna go kill someone! We're going to accomplish something great as wild dogs and regain Wayne-san's trust.
Oh my god, this music! No, what? Let me just, Damn. This actually sounds really good! What is the name of this theme so that I may jam to it as I work?
Something great? How?
We haven't received any orders from Wayne-san, have we?
Not all opportunities have to be waited for. Sometimes you can go and grab them. Do you think we've been going from bar to bar just to earn pocket change? I knew you'd say what you did, so I've been working you hard until now.
I'm pretty dumb, so I don't have a clue what you're saying.
I'm totally lost too. Try remembering what sort of establishments we've been going to.
Bars? Well, they've all been cheap bars, haven't they?
Yes, cheap bars. They were all bars where laborers gather after working hard searching for jobs every day.
Huh? I don't have a clue what you're saying.
Shut up, fool! Zell, you don't mean...
Exactly. All the bars we've gone to have one thing in common. People who search for work at the employment agency. It's true that Wayne-san told us not to do anything that could get in the way. So we aren't. We're just going around performing in bars.
You mean you've been going to bars where employment agency people hang out and...
Yes, I've been collecting information.
Good on you, Zell.
The trouble in front of the employment agency, which Wayne-san was worried about. I was trying to find some way for us to help regarding that.
What? Is that so?
I thought we were just going around performing.
But we haven't picked up any info.
You were all absorbed in your performance. No, it's okay, that's enough.
Oh, that's right. She can understand Chinese.
Because you made the atmosphere so peaceful, people were cheering. And that made them talk more freely. On top of that, we were performing here until a second ago, so no one thinks it's suspicious for us to be here. We've been able to openly gather information from what they've said to each other.
How long have you been thinking this?
Since the beginning. And if I didn't find anything that seemed helpful, I plan to let these end as mere performances.
Which means you've heard some vital information?
Do any of you know what the backdoor employment agency is?
The three of them didn't know, and they wondered what she was talking about all of a sudden. Back door. They knew what the employment agency was. A lot of people gathered in front of it, waiting for day labor jobs. However, they had never heard of a backdoor employment agency.
Excuse me? When you add backdoor to it, it sounds pretty shady.
What on earth is this about?
That's right. Until today, I didn't know what they were talking about. Backdoor employment agency is just my liberal translation of the word. But Chinese people have been whispering about it in bars here and there. I see. There are bars near the employment agency, so a lot of Chinese people who gather at the agency are here too.
But what is this backdoor employment agency?
Since you're telling us about it today, you must have reached some sort of conclusion.
That's right. First, this is what the Japanese laborers complain about a lot lately.
There's so many new outsiders, I can't get jobs anymore.
Doesn't matter if wages have gone up if we can't get jobs. And after all, Madame Rose did to raise wages.
No one gets to take advantage of it, and their earnings have actually gone down.
Yeah, it is ironic. But because everyone thinks that, they haven't noticed.
What do you mean?
Wages have risen. That's why there are more outsiders. That's why there's fewer jobs to be had. Everyone's thinking that, so hardly anyone notices. But some people have noticed. A few of them were talking about it.
Hey, aren't there fewer trucks for jobs these days? I think so. There's too many people for me to get anything, so I hadn't noticed.
No, there's seriously fewer of them. Do you realize how long I've been here?
Some employers. I haven't seen it all lately.
And I'm here from morning until night, so there's no doubt. But there's so many more people. It's hard for everyone to notice.
I don't really get it. So, where did those disappearing trucks go to?
I see.
So that's what it is.
Huh? What? Someone please give a moron a hand!
It's probably because of this backdoor employment agency.
Jobs managed by Primavera are supposed to be fairly distributed to laborers in front of the employment agency. However, what if someone decided to sell that fairness for money?
I don't really get it. Who's buying what now?
People are buying high-wage jobs that they can't get no matter how long they wait.
The old daily wage was $200. It's $400 now. However, what if there's so many new people that you can only get a job once every 2 days? Even if wages are doubled, if you only get paid once every 2 days, it's the same as your daily wage being $200. What if someone then offered you a job where you got $210 every day? It was natural that poor laborers would listen to that sweet deal. Though a $400 wage is supposed to be paid, the laborers are swindled out of $190. However, if it means they can get a stable job, and in the end, it means those laborers would fall back into the swindled lifestyle that existed before Madame Rose.
So, there are people trying to pilfer those wage increases Madame Rose created?
Damn villains.
No one's been able to tell us that they can't get jobs because of the increase of people. So until I heard the phrase backdoor employment agency, the pieces didn't fit together.
Then, that backdoor employment agency is...
The place that sells jobs for money.
You're supposed to get money by working, right? It doesn't make sense to buy jobs with money.
But in reality, there are villains who are trying to trample Madame Rose's goodwill and fill their own pockets.
What the hell? That's just wrong.
However, we have nothing except rumors told by drunks.
Yeah. It's still too soon to tell Wayne-san about this.
Zell, don't tell me.
That's right. Getting the details on this story is our jobs as wild dogs. If it's true we're able to get proof, wouldn't that be an incredible accomplishment?
Zell stood up. The other three also hurried to their feet. To those who had shown the will to live as wild dogs, there was no time to waste sitting around.
Seriously, what is this jam? It's so good. I think it's the first time I've heard that one. All right. Broke my fingers. Okay. Ow, ow, ow.
Once again, this place is packed with laborers from other cities. Everyone's reaching the limits of their frustration, unable to get jobs as often as they'd like.
All right. May as well just go there first.
Originally, the employment agency was supposed to be a place for people to apply for work. However, there were hardly any jobs given to Japanese laborers who could only speak Japanese. At some point, it became common for Japanese laborers to gather in front of the agency gates and wait to be picked up for day labor jobs. By now, the space in front of the agency was packed, while the inside of the agency was practically empty. Oliver had come to the area in front of the agency. Of course, he was there to gather information. Poor-looking men were killing time complaining about the recent situation. By simply mixing in with them and keeping...
By simply mixing in with them and keeping my ears open, I ought to be able to learn all sorts of things.
American women sure are hot. Damn, I'd like to bang.
Okay, viewers, here you go. Here's something that you can just kind of play on repeat.
American women sure are hot. Damn, I'd like to bang one of those. It sure was a cockroach, but the bastard told me it was a burnt onion. Damn it, what's that stench? A stinky tofu stand? Get that stinky tofu stand the fuck away from me.
They aren't talking about anything useful. Looks like it'll be faster to bring up a topic myself instead of waiting for someone to talk about what I want. Not many trucks coming. Are there fewer jobs lately or what?
I muttered to no one. Down on their luck, people are quick to chime in on opinions they agree with.
I agree. Been a bunch more for a while, but there's clearly been less lately.
Hey, are the trucks really coming here? They aren't gathering people somewhere else, are they?
Where are they doing that? Tell me now!
Idiot, if we know that, what do we be wandering around here for? But I do know one thing. You remember that annoying mustache dude who used to gather people to do unloading at the harbor?
Yeah, I remember that guy. The bastard who gets all carried away just because we can't afford to strike back.
You seen him lately?
Don't even want to see the likes of him.
Did that geezer's business go under? Serves him right if so.
You got that right. Serves the bastard right. It's not true, though. I saw that damn geezer at the harbor yesterday. Yeah, I saw him, too. He was still swaggering about with that screeching voice of his as usual.
If there were enough jobs to choose between them, I'd never work for a bastard like that.
Got that right. Now we're stuck licking his boots and begging for jobs.
What if that geezer is hiring people somewhere else? Is there any place people gather other than here?
There were several rules regarding job obtainment for Primavera Special Offers window. You're doing a good job, Oliver. Good job, man. One of them was that, when gathering day laborers, you could only do it in front of the employment agency. It was a measure in place to make getting jobs as fair as possible for the laborers. They were currently working on making a union to distribute jobs even more fairly, but that would still take time. This was just a temporary rule until that was completed. If employers were gathering laborers away from the agency and on their own personal routes, that would be breaking the rules.
I'm sorry, routes. My bad! It's pronounced two different ways here and it's...
However, this was no more than a gentleman's agreement. A gentleman's agreement established out of respect to Madame Rose and Primavera, the ones who brought City-23 back from the brink of destruction.
It was only natural that, given time, there would be fools and villains who took that agreement lightly.
Yep. At that moment, several job trucks arrived. The men gathered around them at once, half threatening the people in the truck to give them jobs.
Don't push me!
Oh, sorry. Don't push me. Don't touch me. You hit my shoulder, bastard.
It was pandemonium.
When Oliver tried to slip out of this struggle, a large man suddenly grabbed him by the collar.
You bastard! Think you could step on my foot and run away like you had nothing to do with it?
You have the wrong person. Try asking someone else.
You mocking me, you little brat? Be a good boy and take out your wallet.
Silence, scum. You call this a conversation?
The area in front of the agency wasn't filled purely with good people with sweat on their brows, trying to get paid wages. It also had pickpockets, bag snatchers, and people like this who accused people of things to try and get some change.
Only doctor's fees and compensation pay, obviously. If you understand, then hurry up and...
The old Oliver would have fed the man's jaw clenched fist at that very moment. Also, that fucking expression, I love it. However, the moment he clenched his fist, he remembered what Zell had told him.
Listen up. We're gathering information, right? Make sure you don't stand out.
You hear me, brat? I told you to take out your wallet right now!
If I really went wild on a guy like this, I'd have his face covered in blood before he could blink twice.
But he held in his anger, and at the same time he tried to figure out what to do. After all, he knew of no way to resolve situations like this without fighting. Then some big old man grabbed the soldier of the man pouncing on Oliver.
Hey, you! You've got guts trying extortion in broad daylight. The hell are you? Got a problem with me, old man?
Who are you with? Oh, you aren't from State 23, are you? You came from some other city, right?
So what? Who cares where I come from? We've got this thing called a code at the City 23 agency. You got a problem with me? Ah, damn it!
Get out of here where you can, kid. Don't you bother with this outsider.
He saved me. Anyway, I'd better get away while I can. I got what looks like information, but even more important, I was a little happy that I'd managed to follow Zell's instructions.
Good job, Oliver. Seriously, good job on you, man. Also, big shout out to those two who basically just saved you from beating... Well, actually, I think they actually just saved the outsider from getting his shit kicked in. Damn. That was nice. I like that. Alright, Club Primavera. If we had a camera, we'd be able to quietly find evidence without making a scene. They're pretty expensive, but there's probably at least one lady of the evening who has one, considering their high wages. Maybe? I think we probably have to have a Stella or Meryl, maybe. Speaking of... Men. This is not a men. This is a blonde lolly.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Here you go. Know how to use it? No, not at all. You asked to borrow a camera without even know how to use one? Well, even you've had it tucked away forever since you couldn't understand the instruction manual. Still, this is a pretty expensive toy, isn't it? I'm surprised someone as terrible with machines as you bought it. Shut up, you! Even I want to be like Kimura Ihei sometimes.
Kimura Ihei? Meryl was holding a German-made camera. Once when she had been slightly drunk and in an artistic mood, a regular customer had recommended it and she ended up buying it. Damn it, Meryl! Of course, it was more expensive than anything you should ever buy on a whim in Japan at this period.
But what would you use a camera for? Don't be stupid. Haven't you heard the good reviews these kids have been getting lately? Ah, I did hear about that. Zell started a 4-person music group, didn't she? Oh, so you're going to take pictures of that? So are you finally going to get serious and use that for PR?
Well, something like that. Come to think of it, you learned how to play music from the old man at the music shop, right? Looks like the phrase, art brings bread, is true. Good for you. Seriously.
In the past, when Nina had tried to make a living as a lady of the evening, she had been in Meryl's care.
Oh!
Meryl had done a lot to look after her, so she could become a woman capable of supporting herself, but she wasn't good with, men, was she?
I'm sorry about all that. I've just got no talent for it. No need to worry. It's only natural that people will be bad at some things and good at others. Well, it's more like it was because of the way I talk.
Come to think of it, that's an unusual dialect. Where's your hometown?
On the border of the Toyama and Gifu prefectures, there's a... Well, anyway, only people from my village talk this way.
Nina spoke in an unusual dialect. I would not know this. Before the era of television, there used to be strong regional flavors in language. However, even among those, her style of speech was very distinctive, and it stuck out a little. Probably because I'm giving her a masculine voice.
Nina, it wasn't that you didn't have talent, and it certainly wasn't because of your dialect. Your looks are good, your personality is good. That got a few of the girls envious, and the distinctive way you speak just happened to be the target of their teasing.
Ah, yeah, that does happen, picking on a new girl like that.
I should have kept a closer eye out. But some mean girls apparently took advantage of the fact that they had been here longer.
Well, being able to sidestep stuff like that casually is another talent needed for ladies of the evening.
Nina, if you were ever lacking talent in something, that's all it was.
Well, I mean... When some of the more experienced women saw this new girl getting regular customers with nothing but her attitude, they weren't happy. Nina, who had been raised in an alley, never received an education, and she couldn't tell any tasteful jokes. Ouch. And above all, there was her distinctive dialect. There was no shortage of things to tease her about. However, the world of ladies of the evening isn't a greenhouse. You need the resolution to bear the frigid winds. Meryl was saying that. In this one point alone, Nina lacked talent. However, Nina hadn't liked hanging out with only women, not since the beginning. Ever since her days as an alley rat, she had liked to move in packs with her wild comrades, unconcerned about gender.
What about now? Have you been able to do what you like? Been able, you say?
Meryl must be talking about that music stuff.
However, I've set my sights on the wolf. I want to become a wolf like Wayne's son. It's more like I'm gonna do it soon. Oh? Okay. I don't know what you're planning to do, but whatever it is, put all your heart into it. Women only get to do whatever they want for a small part of their lives.
Nina borrowed the camera, bowed, and left the floor. Until now, whenever she entered an establishment of the night, she had been tormented by a feeling of inferiority since she herself was a dropout. But not anymore. She clearly knew what she wanted to do, and no one would stand in her way anymore. Good.
Oh, if it isn't Nina! Long time no see.
Oh, it's you guys.
So did you come back to the club in the end? Well, it's not like you could find any other job to feed yourself with. Hey, listen, I hear Sally got a customer to buy her a car. Me too, the other day, an American soldier bought me this incredible ring. Nina, have you been able to eat healthy? If we drop by the club, we could at least give you some leftovers.
They were obviously making fun of her.
Those bitches!
Even though it had been some time since she quit the club, they still treated her as inferior. But Nina laughed easily.
What are you guys going on about? Well, if it makes you happy, I guess that's great. I've got other things I'd like to do. Hope we all get to do stuff we like.
And after saying that, she walked away confidently.
Good job, Nina.
I said it. I told them.
Nina's chest was still pounding.
I'm not a dropout anymore. I'm a wild dog. And I'm about to accomplish something big.
I'll get tons of evidence about that backdoor employment agency on this camera.
You gotta relearn how to use it though first, damn it! Okay, that just leaves Charles. Countless laborers are sweating here again today to support their families. A very large number of the jobs handed out near the employment agency are for this place. Alright. I hear a boat! The harbor area, stretching across the southern tip of City 23, was one of the busiest areas of the city. Fuck! Chinatown to the north, and the harbor to the south. Those were the two lively poles of City 23. Every day, countless freighters came and went, unloading a vast amount of cargo. The large number of workers involved in this task worked, ate, and drank alcohol. The stores that sold them food and drink were always bustling. The harbor alone had enough vigor to be considered a city of its own.
Hey, kid, out of the way. Looking for daddy or something?
Don't treat me like a brat! Even I'm here looking for a job so I can eat.
That's sorry about that. You looking for a day labor job? You can't get one here.
Rules say you can only get day labor jobs in front of the employment agency. Rumor has it that Primavera will be chasing out the guys from other cities, but just when are they gonna get around to that? Even if I go there, I can't get jobs. I haven't even seen some of those trucks lately. Have there been companies going out of business so less people are getting hired?
During Caleb's era, I understand it, but are there any companies going under now?
Right now, we're filled to the brim with cargo coming from America. All harbors are overflowing with jobs. Long live cargo! Long live work! Long live the Marshall Plan! The huh? U.S. Secretary of State George Marshall had proposed a large-scale plan of reconstructive aid for war-torn Europe, but also for Japan, which had been devastated by a natural disaster. This was the European and Japanese Recovery Program, commonly known as the Marshall Plan. I'm learning a lot today. A large amount of support was given to Japan, starting in the April of 1948. It was used as a massive countermeasure to China, which was in the process of using its large importing of goods and immigrants to take the initiative in Japan's reconstruction. To combat this, China also began a massive plan to import goods, and all this importing opened the curtain on a new war. Of course, this is all on a political level. Poor Japanese laborers had little to do with it. Japan, wedged between the two countries, was boiling with the good economic times and a massive amount of goods descending upon them. Not to mention all the jobs these created.
I doubt any company would go under at times like this. It's just not the flood of guys from other cities making it feel like there's fewer trucks.
That's not it! There's clearly some trucks that aren't coming.
Anyway, I'd like to get rid of these outsiders and the Chinese quickly.
Yeah. Madame Rose raised wages for us.
And then those bastards come swarming around here. Hey, it's the chief. Let's go, let's go!
True enough, the harbor was overflowing with jobs. A large number of laborers were clambering about and sweating. Some people were out of work because too many laborers had come from other cities. But this harbor itself was in the middle of a boom, and there were plenty of jobs to be had. They should be wanting as many day laborers as they could get. It was unthinkable that companies were going under. It is also unthinkable that the number of trucks was decreasing. Well, going by what I can see here, I can't believe that there are fewer trucks. The place was packed with food shops, drink shops, and countless laborers. Besides the laborers from City 23, there were also many from other cities and many Chinese people. Of course, the people from City 23 weren't happy about the others. The Chinese, who were obviously outsiders, probably got singled out for criticism a lot. However, Wayne had given an order that measures be taken to prevent fights with the Chinese. In front of shops here and there, young people from the Wild Dogs stood like bodyguards, glaring about. Charles couldn't read them, but posters bearing the same Chinese words were posted on all the shops. They said, "Please refrain from speaking Chinese, as you may be drawn into a fight."
At that moment, Charles' eyes clearly picked it out. As a Chinese-looking man came out of a shop, a man walking the other way snatched up his wallet.
What a dirty job.
It was a classic two-person move, where one intentionally bumps into the target, drawing his attention, while the other grabs his wallet from the other side. Okay, good thing I've got a hike. I don't know, that's terrible.
I see. So this harbor was jostling laborers as a pond filled with sitting ducks and pickpockets. I've got no problem with pickpocketing itself. However, going after the pockets of poor laborers is the worst sort of heresy.
I support you on that.
Hey, isn't that guy even going to notice?
In Charles' eyes, it was a messy job that should have been spotted easily. However, possibly because he was full and relaxed after finishing a meal, the stout Chinese man didn't seem to notice. Normally, Charles would have ignored it. It's his own fault for being too careless. But the victim was Chinese. There was a chance that this could lead to problems. The man sat down on the side of the road, taking a relaxed after-meal break.
I'm just taking back something that was pickpocketed. I'm sure Aniki Wayne will forgive me.
Hey, you're pickpocketing. Hey, dude, you're pickpocketing for a good thing. That's okay. You can do this. It's totally fine. Charles honed his senses and approached the pickpockets who were standing in line in a store. This line of bustling laborers who wanted to eat as fast as possible was truly as my line of sitting ducks. This moment, while the pickpockets are lining up their next prey, is a perfect chance. As he focused his concentration, the noise and scenery inside the shop vanished into darkness, one by one. All unnecessary things were swallowed in darkness, and his senses were honed to the max.
A dark world, with nothing except me and my target. It's been a long time since I felt this. Pickpocketing is a survival skill, and also a sinful skill, forgivable only for the poor, who must not attack other poor people. You heretics. I won't forgive you.
Oh! He has his own way of fighting! Oh my god, I love this! Yes! Let's go, Charles! Booyah!
Pickpocketing to the max. Retribution. Pickpockets must always be careful not to get pickpocketed themselves. They didn't even notice that their prize had been snatched away from them.
Good on you, Charles. Good job.
Yeah.
Charles tossed the wallet at the Chinese man's feet, patted him on the shoulder, and pointed at the wallet. There had been nothing but small change in it, but without doubt, it was still the man's precious fortune. The man hurriedly picked it up and spoke briefly in Chinese. Even though he didn't speak the language, Charles knew he was being thanked. No problem, random Chinese guy. No problem.
Pickpocketing in the name of good.
Zell was in Chinatown. She'd been looking for a place where she could overhear the conversations of Chinese laborers. Of course, they're probably more comfortable here in Chinatown. Their chats seem a lot more lively than when they're in other places.
Now this finger was blown off in Lahiko. That sure was a fierce battle. I've heard that story 100 times. More importantly, is my food ready yet, you old crone?
Oh yes, it'll be ready soon. While we're at it, would you like me to shave off that mustache with this knife and use it to spice up your meal?
What? Why? Okay.
The JDS has been acting like cowards lately. All the explanations that they're scared of the Japanese.
Some interesting topics came up now and then, but it'd be suspicious if I joined in the conversation.
Zell just quietly weaved her way through the bustle, satisfied with just keeping her ears open for information. I hear mahjong's illegal now on the continent.
No! Why?
Sounds like the perfect medicine for my husband.
He plays morning till night without working. Even though wages are so high right now, not good for nothing.
Even the conversations of firm Chinese housewives seeped into my head.
Oh, those were all housewives. Whoops.
My bad.
Fuck it. You can have a deep voice if you're a woman.
I wasn't translating from Chinese inside my head. I was simply able to understand the Chinese as words, same as Japanese ones. For example, arigato and thank you are two different phrases. However, no Japanese person would hear thank you and waste time translating it into arigato inside their heads. Thank you means thank you. It's another way of saying arigato. That was the way these Chinese words just seeped into my head. Huh. Why am I so fluent in Chinese? For a time, I wondered if I was Chinese myself. However, the words I think inside my head are Japanese. If someone suddenly asks me something, the words that come out are Japanese, which means I'm probably a Japanese person fluent in Chinese. Who am I wonder?
Don't worry about it, Zoe. I'm sure the memories will come back, but yeah, you're right.
No point thinking about it now. If I remember, I'll probably know what to do then. And I know what to do now. At that moment, the conversation Zell had been looking for finally reached her ears.
Oh,
You certainly can find jobs.
it's much better than getting nothing after being jostled about at an agency all day.
But the kickback sucks.
Out of your wage of 400, 150 is taking out in advance.
Hey, that's about half of it gone, right?
However, you still get to take home 250. It's infuriating, but you get a good income.
And the work? They aren't making you help out with something shady, right?
No, nothing like that. It's exactly the same as standing in front of the agency. It's probably the same trucks that went to the agency coming here instead. It's far better than being packed in around the agency waiting for jobs you won't get. It really is a back door for getting jobs. A backdoor employment agency.
The Chinese people listened to him gulped.
Bingo. Zell's guess had been right.
But can you really get jobs for certain?
You can for now, but before long the number of people will grow, and you might not be able to get jobs even there. In other words, now's our only chance. So, what do you say? Interested?
The listening men looked at each other, then nodded several times. Gotta say, the fact that they're all wearing sunglasses, they're all snazzy as all hell. Apparently, the man was asking for an introduction fee for telling them the location. Grumbling, the men fished their pockets and started gathering small change. Huh. After that, the rest was whispered.
I could only hear it vaguely, but I caught several vital keywords for pinpointing the location. That's enough for me. Now if I can just use my legs as a weapon. Zell slowly started walking, naturally blending into the crowd. She pushed through several crowds in front of stores and walked 2 blocks.
Oh, after that, she walked into a small, quiet, empty alley and hid in the shadows. For some time, she hid her breathing, staring out to see if anyone was following her.
Maybe it's my imagination. It feels uncomfortable, as though someone's staring at me. Of course, I had no basis for this strange feeling, except for possibly that mysterious girl that we haven't seen yet. However, another part of me whispered inside my head, telling me to trust that feeling. If only the Chinese know about this backdoor employment agency, there's a very good chance that the GDS is involved. That means Chinatown is practically enemy territory. I should follow my instincts. I watched for a while, but I couldn't sense any other causes for suspicion. Did I just get too tense and scared off something that didn't exist? Right now, I'm more worried that the unusual way I've been acting might have attracted the suspicion of someone else.
Oh boy. Zell walked out of the alley, merged with the crowd of people, and melted out of sight.
You again!
It was the small girl who had been observing Zell before.
Zell's instincts had been keen enough to pick up on the girl's presence, but the instincts of the girl who noticed that she had been noticed must have been even more keen. Since her presence had been noticed, she couldn't get close. And if the other girl melted into the bustle of the street, it would be difficult to chase her alone.
Who are you?
The girl gave up on her pursuit, returned to the darkness of the alley, and looked around to see if anyone was watching.
Is she a fucking ninja?
Then, when she knew no one's eyes were on her, she leapt off the ground, kicked off a wall, kicked off another wall, grabbed a rain gutter, and leapt on top of a sign. With a movement like a monkey or a ninja, she dashed on top of the roof in a flash. I'd say more ninja. To her, it was easy to dash along the roofs of buildings, rather than to walk amidst the crowd below. Oh. She dashed across the skies of Chinatown. She's going real fast. She leapt past roads, leapt past large signboards, and jumped from roof to roof. Then, like a swallow, she jumped through a window on the second floor of a Chinese food restaurant. She rolled about on the floor, terrifying the men inside the room.
Who are you?
I'm your death, peon.
The grim-faced man pulled out his gun, but with an air of unconcern, the girl took off her overcoat.
Oh, it's you, Xiaolong. Stop scaring us like that.
Xiaolong?
Don't we always tell you? Humans walk on the ground and come through doors, monkey girl.
The girl called Xiaolong ignored the complaints as though she hadn't even heard them. She stuck her mouth directly on the water tap and started drinking. Then she tried to open a door in the back, but the man stopped her.
Hold on. The boss is seeing a guest now. It's a messenger from the main group. Probably telling him he's being too soft on Primavera. The boss takes Primavera's side too much. That's why they've gotten so cocky. Still, well, Hanaki Meiju basically got where he is today by teaming up with Richard and raking in the dough. From the main group's eyes, it probably looks like he's sucking up to Primavera. You know, there's even a chance Hanaki Meiju will be dismissed.
Well, could you imagine him on our party, though?
So they make a ton of money off of him, then use him as a scapegoat. The main group won't stop at anything, will they? Huh? Where's Xiaolong? Disappearing and reappearing. She never does anything that isn't sudden.
Xiaolong wasn't actually that far away. She was only one wall's distance from them. She walked on the edge of the outer wall with the dexterity of a cat. Oh my, she literally is a ninja. Then she reached the window in Meiju's room, hid her presence, and looked inside. Oh boy.
Nothing of the sort. All I do for our countrymen.
Have you heard the information suggesting that Primavera is planning to give all agency jobs to the Japanese?
Of course. If that happens, our countrymen in City 23, and those who came from City 22 for work, stand to lose.
If you know that, why haven't you crushed them? If we leave Primavera be, they'll become more and more powerful as an enemy. Now that Caleb's gone, we've no further need of them as a figurehead. It's time to force them towards either subjugation or death. But instead of doing that, you've been casually drinking tea with them. The Council of Elders suspects they're bribing you.
Now that is saddening to hear. How could I, Lee Meiju, possibly betray the GDS and side with the Japanese?
You've known Richard, Primavera's consigliere, for a long time. You've been placed in a position of trust as a pro-Japanese person, but some are now saying that you're too close to them.
Even if it appears that way, all I do is for the sake of our countrymen.
There are even some claims that they're using negotiations over the special office windows to bait you.
The special office windows are sorely needed by the society of our countrymen in City 23. Ignoring those would be the same as betraying our countrymen in this city. Perhaps those who are concerned only with City 22 should spare a bit more thought for their countrymen in City 23. In fact, it is because Primavera has chosen not to scorn us that they have offered such a condition. It seems the elites in the Council of Elders have claimed that all plans directed by the Japanese would be hurtful to our pride. But I would like you to be more aware of certain facts. The protection money supporting your luxurious lifestyles cannot be provided solely by what you can take from all of our countrymen.
And you have no issues with me reporting what you've just said as a statement of disrespect to the Council of Elders?
If you feel my statement was a disrespectful one, do whatever you please. I have constantly negotiated on the front lines between our society and Japanese society, trying to reach an end that will profit our countrymen the most. I believe it's about time the Council clarified the definition of countrymen that we are to serve. If I'm not mistaken, when our previous leader made his dying wish, he did not use the word countrymen to refer to the Council alone.
Good on you, Meiju! The just cause of protecting their nearby Chinese countrymen was the GDS's rallying cry. However, once their previous leader passed away, the council one-sidedly decided that the young lord, who had returned from studying in England, was still too immature to become a successor. During the wait for the young lord to grow a suitable attitude, the council had acted as representative for that duty, and had turned the GDS into their own plaything. Those like Meiju, who still admired the old leader and felt that his son, the young lord, was the proper successor, were gradually becoming scorned by the pro-council faction. They're basically too power-hungry.
Are you absolutely sure? I will report your statement word for word.
Be my guest. If the council feels that our countrymen in City 23 are the countrymen we ought to protect, then there are no problems with my statement. If that is indeed the case, then please continue to leave everything to me. And I would like you to refrain from any and all tricks performed without my knowledge.
Yeah. I thought you were a wiser man than this. You've disappointed me.
The high-ranking man turned away. Meiju bowed deeply to his back as he left. Once the sound of the man's footsteps had disappeared completely, Meiju faced the window and spoke.
Thank you for keeping a lookout. It's okay now. You knew. You were keeping an eye out, weren't you? Thinking I might be killed?
Xiaolon nodded, then slipped in through the window. She had been watching the exec's movements the whole time. If the man had tried to expose Meiju to any danger, she had planned to jump in right away.
I haven't gotten that senile yet. I could easily kill a man like that or put him to sleep in the blink of an eye. You think so? Thanks for your concern. Here's a reward for caring so much.
Meiju took a mooncake out of a cupboard and tossed it. My favorite. Xiaolon's face showed emotion for the first time, and she jumped in the air to grab the mooncake like a dog. She bit off the packaging and started stuffing her cheeks right on the spot. A year-round liking for mooncakes, which were supposed to be a seasonal treats, was Xiaolon's only obsession. Well, I already like her. As she focused entirely on eating, Meiju gazed at her fondly, like a grandfather watching his granddaughter play.
Has anything changed lately? I doubt you came here just so I could give you some mooncake.
Well, to be fair, I actually did want some mooncake, but... shut up. Xiaolon remembered the real reason she had come and quickly swallowed, then walked up to Meiju and whispered something.
Who? In our Chinatown? What could they be planning to start? No. Let them do as they like for now.
Are you sure about that?
Of course. Make sure to keep your eyes on her.
Very well. I might just ad-lib a little bit for Xiaolon, just to have a little bit of extra fun. Okay, so now we know what her name is, and also that she doesn't really seem to talk all that much. Which, again, I might ad-lib a little bit with that, which I hope you guys don't mind if I do that. So, that was pretty good.
managed to build up their wild dog's confidence, and they're basically off doing their own little thing, trying in any way they can to try to help out, which is pretty good. That's pretty good to me. And Meiju is really putting a lot on the line, you know, to assist with Primavera. So he's really, you know, he's going against a fucking council of elders, for crying out loud, just to get assistance from Primavera. And they're telling him to, you know, destroy them, but he's not. So I think that's automatically putting Meiju in a higher spot of favoritism for me, at least. Also, the fact that Xiaolan likes mooncakes and just her reactions, which that's pretty cool. That's cute. That's really cute. But anyway, this is off to a pretty good start, and I can't wait to record more. So if you guys like this, be sure to let me know. I'm hoping to see a little bit more of Xiaolan, what her connection with Zell is. That or maybe she's just constantly just watching Zell just because. Which makes sense, I guess. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching.
And I will see you guys in the next video.